Alright guys, welcome to today's episode. On the last episode, you'll have watched us dyno my 3STE powered S15. We are now 2 or 3 days away from the biggest JDM car show in Ireland, Japfest, and we want to unveil the S15 there. We need to drive it back there tomorrow night, but we've got all the boys from Group D here. We've got Jimmy Oakes here. We're going to all throw in on the car today, hopefully get it ready, and tomorrow morning it'll be all finished, done, and we can drive it back home after almost a year build. We got a lot of work to do, so let's get to it.
Get rid of these things?
So Jimmy gave me a lot of abuse over these wheels last year because he said they'd look cheap on the car.
Where's the bin?
So you know what I did? I went to our good friends at Strong Wheels and I said, I need you to make me a one-of-one set of wheels forged for this car. And in 3 weeks, from concept to on tires and ready to go, they are here.
Ready? Drum roll, please. Boom! That's crazy. Is that a 2-piece or a 3-piece?
It's a 2-piece forged.
That's sick.
So this is a wheel that doesn't exist. So they've called it the FS series because that's a forged Strom. We went through designs, we came up with this design, and I thought this would be nice to put in over the winter, or maybe, you know, start of the year. They're like, when's Japfest? I was like, it's in 3 weeks. They're like, okay. And then I had a picture or a video the next day of this being milled out of CNC. So they've arrived, air freighted in.
Can they get these if they wanted it?
Yeah, pretty much. You can get them, but you gotta ask Strom very nicely and just say Dave sent you for the same wheels.
Yeah, very nicely.
These are gonna go on this car. Now these are gonna be aggressive. I know that. You know me.
Yeah.
I like a bit of stance.
I tried telling them.
He said they won't work. I think they will. So
No, they're gonna work.
They're gonna work, but in order to make them work, we've had to order every arm for the car. So this is. If you wanna know
I have something. I'll make it work. Give me a second.
If you want to know what Christmas morning looks like in Cork, this is very much what you see. All the boys are just gathered around the Christmas tree, open things. This is very much a Christmas scene here.
We're gonna need this.
Okay, this is a tool we're gonna need.
And hold on, one more.
I feel
Wayne would use
this would be the only tool Wayne would use in this situation. So what we've got is every single adjustable arm for the S15. Meaning that we can adjust camber, front, toe, everything to make the car drive really well while also being quite low and cool on the wheels. Darren hates this idea because it drives...
Dave, there's the other tool. That's it, you're good.
Okay, so I also look like Christmas here, Halloween over here.
He literally he could choose any spec of wheels and still this is going to be ambitious.
Well, he knew that the more aggressive, the bigger lip he could fit, and the bigger lip
That
is
is
always
exactly
sick.
what my point was.
Yes.
The problem with S15s is they have a very weak arch setup for their hub, which means that everything looks really narrow.
They're such a catfish, because if you look at this car, look at this, I talk about this all the time. Look at this big juicy hip this car has. Like it looks like a shelf. It's the most aggressive.
It looks like it is a wide body without a wide body.
But yet, it's skinnier than a 14.
Yeah.
Come on.
And all the wheels that you can get are these single PC boys. And you know me, I like a bit of but definitely put this away.
Put down the hammer.
Put down the hammer. So these are obviously, they've got dish, they're gonna make the car look a lot wider, but they're gonna take a little bit more work on tire size and on suspension. Mike looks confident.
I'm the wheel guy here, and I do offsets and widths, and these are going to stick an inch outside the arch.
Can we test
An
it
inch?
right away? Can't wait to break your heart. Nah, we'll make it
Okay,
fit.
take the, yeah.
It's one of those things you know it's going to fit. You just don't know how yet.
Are they like ET5?
Yes.
ET5.
I've forgotten the last tool you're gonna need. Here you go, buddy.
No, there won't be any of this.
Come on.
Don't hold it that close.
That stressed me out so bad. You're the liability, guys. Oh, they're going on right now?
They're on the front.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's ambitious.
That is ambitious. The front we knew was gonna work. The rear is...
I didn't.
That's what we... You didn't think the front would work?
No, the front is very surprising.
That's what we expected. That's not that bad. So here's the thing about S chassis that's good, right? When they squat, they camber in. So you could actually seat them pretty aggressive because when they finally hit a bump, they will go into the wheel arch and give you more room versus some other cars that don't camber in. You can't mount them aggressively or else you're just gonna whack your quarter panel. So we'll be good. A little bit camber.
A little bit of camber.
Darren feels so dirty right now. Look at
I
him.
feel so like never had a stance car in this workshop ever.
We're putting blood on his hands now, boys.
This is going to be expensive labor. This is.
Hella flush is what they call it.
Dance words.
It'll go in more, yeah.
Yeah, right. That's all we got. So that's good fitment right there.
You have been to Ireland before, right? You can't drive like that.
It's Dave. He doesn't care. All right, let's just add more camber. When in doubt.
One side is always like
You're really getting in there, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's good.
That is hella flush.
Hella fresh. It'll be fine.
So what I've done here is I've made what should have been a simple job a very long, late job, because fitment is life, and I'm standing here trying to motivate everyone around me. Going, this is great.
It's not.
So basically,
The new arms going in now.
there's more arms. We have brand new arms being replaced by brand new arms because the original arms were hitting the chassis because we've gone that low with the car. So we're hoping to find a compromise because obviously I'm trying to put very dishy big wheels on a car that really shouldn't have them. And we're trying to use the camber and a few bits and pieces. So look at the heads we have here. Where would you see a man from Cork and a man from Connecticut working together to make a solution for a man from Kildare's terrible idea in the first place. So hopefully we'll get a solution.
How many people told you these wheels wouldn't work?
Doesn't matter what people say. Lesson today is denial. Denial will always make a nicer car than practicality.
To be confirmed.
Hey, everyone told you not to put an SR in an MX-5 NC. Look at you now. 4 years later, you got.
I'm still not sure about that one.
4 years later, you got 2 good laps. I mean, it seems like a perfect solution to me.
What's the feeler gauge?
2 credit cards. For a street car, 2 credit cards. For a show car, a piece of.
He's got his driver's license here.
Pull the shock, it's cycling. Somebody way off.
So, it is the next morning, and we have got through a lot of the list. Just to give you guys an idea of that list, this is all just the S15. So, we've got to a point now where we're so busy we can't even tick it off. But we are moments away from actually driving this car out of Group D for the first time in over a year. Engine's working, all the link ECU sensors have been checked, the dash has been checked, everything's running perfectly. We've put on our custom Strom 1 of 1 Forge Series wheels. We've run it very low because it looks very cool. Probably too low, but it looks amazing. If you look at that view, you've got the engine conversion, which is so at home in there. The wheels look absolutely perfect, the bodywork is perfect, and now we're just aligning the car. Last couple of checks to make sure everything is okay. We put in some Nismo side markers, we put in a Nardi steering wheel. What else did we do, Josh? We took a lot of the decals off because we wanted to keep it cleaner. And yeah, we're pretty close now to starting it up, driving it out, showing it in the light for the first time. Because cars in the garage always look one way, and then when you take them outside in the real world, that's when you get a full, I suppose, picture of how the whole project has come together. Might even do a few rings, and then we got to drive it 2 hours to Japfest, right down to the wire, as it always is with us. But I think we're going to make it. I think we're feeling positive right now. So this is the first time we've seen the car outside in what is probably 12 months now. It looks spectacular. It's exactly how I wanted it to turn out. It's even better, to be honest. The Stroms, the Forge Stroms, just perfect for the car. It's beautifully balanced now, and it's got the engine conversion. I'm actually overwhelmed a little bit because it's been a little bit of a journey, this car, and I wanted like my perfect S15, and I think this has absolutely nailed it. So what we're going to do now is take it down to the end of the lane, take some nice B-rolls, some nice shots, some nice photos, because we'll get to see it just on its own. Might even get to do a few rings, and then we're heading up the road, see how it works. So they say some things are worth the wait, and I think this S15, the thing about Darren is that he goes so in depth with everything to make it right that I get impatient because I don't understand all the level of engineering that goes in, and I'll admit that on camera.
You make the excuses I want.
Yeah. But the 2 times I've come down here this year, one to collect the Corvette and the second to collect this car, have exceeded my expectations of what it is. And I think maybe a lot of time when we're on the channel, because it's content and you have to get videos out very fast, you're rushing things to a certain extent where you're going, they're not perfect, but they look in the video great, but they don't drive great, they don't really function as well as you think. Whereas this, like, I mean, I just did a donut in first gear at half revs, and I was like, it's just like driving a V8, it's that responsive. And the turbo noises, the way everything's put together, the link dash, everything just looks modern, fresh, nice. It is absolutely the S15 I've always wanted, and I always wanted something different. I never wanted a big power one, I wanted something that was just fun and different. And I think the looks, considering the fact that we've used, you know, Strom wheels that are one of ones, so that just for this car, now they may make these for all of you guys as well, it's still early days. And also hit them up on the old email as well, because they will start making them if you guys have the demand, because I think they look fantastic. And then also the fact that we now have a 4-cylinder Toyota engine in a Nissan, which took a lot of work and time, but I absolutely love just how it looks like that's the engine that came with. It just looks like we put a rocker cover on an SR20, but it's far from an SR20, so I absolutely love it. And it sounds not too loud on the exhaust, but the turbo noises and the engine noises, because if you put a big exhaust on these, which I know everyone will want me to do, it's just a loud car, but now you can actually hear what's different about it, which is the turbo and the engine package, which I think is far more entertaining. So this is just, I'm just blown away. I can't wait to show everybody at the weekend.
No, it's really cool, and it's a very difficult brief from you. You want it to be slammed, you want it to be stanced, you have these custom wheels, everything, and we have to put in a one-off engine and make it work, and everything has to be perfect, and it has to be OEM almost. It's a really difficult brief, and then we go through, like everything, we go through everything, cross the T's, dot the I's. We want to hand it back to you, have you enjoy it with no issues. So it takes a lot of time setting up all the electronics and the dash and going through pages and getting everything to sync and work.
And a lot of people don't realise, and I didn't realise, is that if you're doing an engine swap in a car, everyone does engine swaps, but generally this side of the world, they're for drift cars, which means you don't need indicators or heaters or any of the normal stuff, or the speedo or fuel levels. Whereas to do all that is actually very time consuming, because you're taking everything Nissan out of the car and replacing it with custom. So that's even all of the amenities in the car. So that's a very difficult job, and it runs perfect, it dynoed perfect. The outside is obviously very my style, but it's almost like you gave the S15 to Toyota at the time and said, what would you do here differently? And they go, here we are.
Yeah, this is our 2 litre.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on SR20s, because I own a lot of SR20s. I think we have 4 or 5 of them, and I've always loved SR20s. But I think just having something that's different, but the same characteristics, because you put a 1J or 2J or a V8 in this, you have a big nose heavy car, it's got loads of power, but it loses all of its Silvia-ness at that point. And I found that driving even other cars with 6 cylinders in them or V8s, that they're brilliant for what they're purposefully to do, but they don't feel like a Silvia anymore. And this still feels like a Silvia, which is my favorite part of it. I think that's why all my Silvias have 4-cylinder engines, is because that's what I quite like. I like the nimbleness and I like the kind of, I don't know, gutsy engine in them rather than just effortless power. So it might seem like a way over the top build for what we got out of it power wise, which I think people on the internet will probably not understand, but there's something to be said for a car that the engine power matches the chassis perfectly, and I guarantee you with 300 horsepower you will have more regular fun with a car than something with 700 horsepower where you're almost afraid to touch the throttle all day, and you touch it once and twice in a pull and it's spinning wheels, and it's almost too much to buy a 400 euro engine as opposed to a 5,000 euro SR. All the ancillaries cost money, but the actual replacement of that would be an easy thing to do.
That's my favorite part. The engine is still completely stock internally except for one head gasket. I mean, it is standard. We didn't put rings in it or bore it or nothing. It's got no smoke or nothing from an engine that was pulled from the ground. It wasn't even in a car that you saw running. It was on the ground,
and we put this engine at the side of the road,
yeah,
and it looked like it had fallen out of a tree.
Exactly.
And here it is, looking pretty.
And it starts. There's zero smoke out of it. You know, there's nothing. So I'm really pleased with it. But you just must trust 90s Toyota. How many times have we learned it?
This year literally has been all about 90s Toyota. The 1J Corolla, the Verosa, and this. I'm being convinced gradually that I love my SRs, I love the sound of an RB, but when it comes to just working, 90s and 2000s Toyota stuff, I mean, even look at the 4,500 kilometers we did in a JZX 110 without a single issue, any day starting or running. So I get it. So let us know in the comments if you guys love it, but also we're going to take this for a spin down the road now. Me and Josh have 2 hours to go to Mondello. The finishing line for this project is our stand at Japfest, and that's where we're heading now. Darren, we shall see you there. We'll also be skidding a lot this weekend as well, which you'll see in a future vlog. Not with this though. This has done all the skidding it's doing this week, and we'll get into the show, and I'm excited to see what everyone thinks of it.
It has officially left, Dave.
We have officially left Group D after a year. This is the first time I've ever driven this car, so I never even drove it as an SR20 non-turbo. So now we have the world's first 3SG plus T S15 on a spin home to Japfest.
Just the right amount of pop.
Sounds great, and it's quick, and it's nimble, and it's responsive as well. Let off a little pop and bang. Not too much, not too loud. Everything working really well. This feels great so far, like really fun. Alright guys, so we are almost at Mondello Park, ready for Japfest, the biggest JDM car show of the year. You'll be seeing all the action from that. Josh is in, I'm in, Jimmy's in, there's a bunch of people in. All our Drift Masters crew are in, against the final of the Irish Drift Championship. It's going to be a wild event, but plus we've got amazing cars on display, which you guys are going to see in the videos. So yeah, we're nearly there. Dusk is coming tomorrow, Japfest. We cannot wait. See you on the next episode.